Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. We are going to be driving through the suburb of Irondale, Alabama. Sorry. Now, Irondale, Alabama is a northeast suburb of Birmingham, Alabama. The population is 13,497 people. The population has been increasing at a rate of 9.3% as of the 2020 census. And this city was incorporated in 1887. To be exact, it was incorporated on October 9th of 1887. And as of August 25th of 2020, James D. Stewart Jr. is currently the city's mayor. He is the city's first black mayor. Now, as you guys will see on this video, this suburban community barely has a downtown. I mean, you will see a section of this city that will resemble a downtown, kind of, sort of. But for the most part, I would say this city does not have a downtown. Now, if you're wanting to move here to Irondale, Alabama, the median home price here is $220,000. However, if you want to buy something that's half decent, turnkey, moving, ready, decent neighborhood, all that good stuff, then you're going to want to spend at least $150,000 for a house here in Irondale. Now, this city is 12 minutes away from Birmingham, so you're not far from Birmingham, obviously. Now, as far as it goes for some interesting information about this city had a 5.1 magnitude earthquake, which did cause a little bit of damage to the city. It happened in 1916. And if you want to go to the annual Whistle Festival here, I mean, it's called the Whistle Shop Festival. They have it every year. And basically, just like many other festivals, you're going to have your music, your food, and a little bit of artwork, apparently. So you can go to the Whistle Shop Festival, which is once a year here. And also, another piece of information about this city that some of you might find interesting and some of you could care less. Now, I'm pretty sure there's many of you that are familiar with the Fried Green Tomatoes movie. I mean, that movie was made by Fannie Flagg, who used this city. I mean, to be more specific, she used the City Cafe as the setting for her movie Fried Green Tomatoes. The cafe is called the Whistle Shop Cafe. For those of you that might be interested in that piece of information. Now, me personally, as I was driving through this city, I mean, I think for the most part, this is a nice city. It appears to be quiet. Now, there is a section of this city to where the area is not as well kept, which you guys will see at some point in this video. And even in that part of the city, the area didn't look too bad. I didn't see anything out of line or out of place. I didn't see anyone just hanging out up to no good. I didn't see any of that crap. So I would say if you're looking to live in the greater Birmingham, Alabama area, and you don't want to reside in Birmingham proper, and you don't have the funds to move to Hoover, which is a Birmingham suburb. For those of you that are not familiar with Birmingham, and I will have a video of Hoover coming up, so stay tuned for that video. But for those of you that are unable to afford some of the more expensive suburbs like Hoover, I mean, come here to Irondale, check it out. I mean, like I said, if you want to buy, my suggestion is if you want to buy something half decent, my suggestion would be to spend at least $150,000 for a house. And there are a fair amount of houses that are for sale here in Irondale. And as the housing market continues to change, as housing prices continue to drop, most likely there's going to be more houses around here that will come up on the market for sale. And who knows, you might be able to grab you a nice foreclosure for less than $100,000 before long, because housing prices have really began to come down, and I have really began to see more situations to where a house might be under contract, and then a few days later it's back on the market. So there's been a lot of that going on. So for those of you that are still out here and you're still house hunting, I know it's easier said than done, but don't get too discouraged, because there's more and more cases where a house might be under contract today, and a week or two from now it will be right back on the market. And I'm also seeing a lot more prices come down as well. Like, if someone has a house for sale for, let's say, $150,000, I've been seeing more and more cases recently where if the house hasn't sold, or if someone hasn't submitted an offer within a couple of weeks or so, I've seen a lot of listings to where they'll go from 150 to maybe to 145 or maybe 140. They might drop the price $5,000 to $10,000 within a matter of a couple of weeks. So I've been seeing that a lot more. So, like I told you before, if you find yourself a home that you really like, do not be afraid to negotiate down. I mean, if you're afraid to negotiate $20,000 down, do yourself a favor and at least negotiate $10,000 down. But yeah, like I said, in some of these suburbs even, you might, like here in many parts of Alabama, you might come across a house that might be for sale on a foreclosure for less than $100,000. Now, most likely a house like that will need a little bit of work, so just bear that in mind. But I'm just throwing that out there because I made a video not so long ago letting you guys know that housing prices in Alabama and also in Indiana weren't coming down as much as they were in other places. But, and again, every market is going to be a little different. But I will say, even here in Alabama and also up in Indiana, when I look at listings, number one, I noticed that the houses are staying on the market for longer. Number two, I noticed that sellers are dropping prices quicker. And thirdly, I noticed that houses are also appearing on the market for a slightly lower price than, let's say, even a month ago. And I would say, as the weather changes, as the weather gets colder, and would, I hope the recession doesn't get worse, but when I look at the chain of events, most likely the recession will get worse. How bad? I have no idea. But if the recession gets worse, as the recession gets worse, obviously that's going to lower housing prices even more. So, like I said, if you're still in the market house hunting, don't give up. Keep on looking. If you find something you want, don't be afraid to bargain down. But yeah, to me, this city has to me, this city kind of has a small town feel. I mean, this city kind of has more of a small town feel than a suburb. The housing prices are suburban, but to me, it kind of reminds me of a typical small town here in Alabama, except maybe fancier.